Hello students, in a previous video we have studied the we have started to study the concept of segues, and also we have studied concept of the segue and how to move from one view controller to the another by using the show segue. Now in this video we are going to see the how we can use the unwind segue, how to unwind the segue. So this is a part 2 for the segue basics. So we will see how to unwind the segue. This is our previous project where we have created two view controllers. This is the initial view controller of red color, and second we are having the yellow view controller. So I will select the device iPhone 13. When you run this particular product or the project, you will see we can able to move from the one view controller to the other view controller. So this is the simulator window for the iPhone 13 Pro. So when we click on this button, first button, then you will see the yellow view controller is popping over the red view controller. So we have created here the show segue. Okay, so you can see the kind of the segue between these two view controllers. You can see here we have joined this by the show segue. So advantage of the show segue is that it also presents the modally until a navigation controller is added to the storyboard scene. Okay, so this is the advantage of show segue. Now we will move further and I will add one more view controller to this scene. As we know, we are familiar with the process of how to add the view controller. I have to go to the object library. This is the plus sign where we click on the plus sign and we will write here view controller. So the first search we will find the view controller and then we'll drag this view controller towards the scene. Okay, so we are dragging this and then as per we are aligning this with the previous view controller. I will minimize so you can see this clearly, three view controllers. Okay, so the third view controller is added here. So for the differentiation, I will change the system background color of this third view controller to the let's say green color. Okay, now I will add one more button uh, to this second view controller, yellow view controller. So I will click here, button is there, so I will drag this button to the second view controller and we will call this button as a second button, as we have first button is already there. So I will rename this as a second button. Second button. Okay, now we will create the, now we want to transit from the second view controller to the third view controller, that we want to move from the second view controller to the third view controller. So for that, again I will add the show segue in between the second view controller and the third view controller. So for that, again we will repeat the procedure which we have done in case of first and the second view controller. So for that, I will press the control key on the keyboard and then drag this button towards the third view controller. And when you release that, you will find the various or multiple options for the selection. Out of that, we will currently using the show segue. So I will select the show segue here. So the connection between the second view controller and the third view controller with the kind show is established here. Now, when now we will see how the simulator will look like. Okay, so for that I will play this, then we will see how the simulator is showing the output in this particular case. So you can see the iPhone 13 Pro is here. So when we click on the first button, the second view controller, yellow view controller, is popping over the red view controller. And when I will click on the second button, the third view controller, green view controller, is popping over the first. Okay, that means here we are transiting from the first view controller to the second view controller to the third view controller. Now imagine that, suppose that I want to move from the this green view controller, that is the third view controller, to the red view controller. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible, where we can use the concept of unwind segue. Okay, so we will see how we can unwind the segue towards the first or the initial view controller. So for that, I have to add one method here in the view controller file. So for that, I will go to the first view controller here, and I will require the assistant manager for the opening the assistant editor. So I will go here. You can see on the right hand side, we'll have the three tabs here for the adjust editor on right, adjust editor options, and the enable code review. So middle adjust editor option, I will click on this adjust editor options. When you click on this adjust editor option, you will find the various multiple options for the selection. For that, from this menu, you have to select the assistant. So I will select the assistant here. It will open the view controller.swift file. You can see here, it is opening the view controller.swift file here. I will hide this for the some time, and then if you now here, I have to add one method for the unwind segue. So for that, just you have to type here unwind. Okay, you will get the hint. First hint, unwind. For unwind segue, UI storyboard segue towards subsequent VC, etc. So the first you have to select. Okay. Now here we will rename this function unwind. We unwind to red. Suppose that we want to unwind that to the red. Okay. Now here this is override. We doesn't require that. It is a function unwind to red. Then again will doesn't require this code so much code. We will require only the code up to the UI storyboard segue. So I will delete this code up to this. Okay. So we will have only the function unwind to red for unwind segue UI storyboard segue. So this function will help us for the unwinding the segue. Okay. So when you run this, so before running this, we will again come back to the main file here. main file. In the main file, you have to add one button here. I will add one more button towards the green view controller, and I will rename this name of this green view controller button towards the dismiss button. Okay, dismiss. So, and you have to dismiss, drag this button toward this exit option. So on the top end or top side of the view controller, you will have the three options: view controller, the first responder, and the exit. So what you have to do, click on this dismiss button, press the control key, and drag this dismiss button toward the exit method. When you release this, oh, okay, 1 second, you have to add the IB action here also. So 1 second. When you go to the view controller assistant editor, here you have to add the IB action. At the rate IB action, you have to add here. Okay. Then when you press the control button and when you drag this dismiss button to the exit, you will see this IB action, that is unwind to read. You have to select this unwind to read, and then we will see how this will perform or operate on the simulator. Okay, so when I run this, we'll have to replace the previous. When I run this, you can see here, this simulator window will appear. When I click on the first button, it will, we are moving from the red view controller to the yellow view controller. When I press on the second button, we are moving towards the yellow, from the yellow view controller to the green view controller. And when I press now on the dismiss button, we are unwinding to the first view controller. There is a transition from the green view controller to the first or the initial view controller, because we have added the method unwind segue to the view controller .swift file. Again, if I run this, I will click on the first button, then we are moving to the second button. When I'm clicking on the second button, then we are moving to the dismiss third view controller, green view controller. And when I click on the dismiss button, we are unwinding the segue towards the first or the initial view controller. This is possible because that we have added the method IB action, a method that is unwind to read. Okay, that's why due to this method we have, it is possible for us to unwinding the segue from the green view controller to the initial or the red view controller. So this is the concept of the unwinding the segues. So for this video, we will stop here, and in next video, we will see the use of navigation controller in the case of the navigating from one view controller to the other, or suppose that we want to pass the information from the one view controller to the other, then we can use the navigation controllers. Okay, so we'll meet in the next video. Thank you.